Good afternoon on what is a cold, grey and cloudy day. It is Tuesday, November the 27th, and I'm in the reading Nook with a much needed, nice hot cup of tea. And a box to unbox. So, I've already opened this up, and sort of like what I've got is very nice rolled up, all rolled up. I'm just going to show you that again because I really do like this. Is really nice. This is my first all rolled up with a buckle. I've normally got the drawstring ones, but so this isn't this isn't an unboxing of an all rolled up. This is just what's in the box. Now, and this is not the focus of the all rolled up. Oh, sorry, of the unboxing either. So the all rolled up, it's like that. You've got pockets here for your pens and your notes, and then a separate section there for your dice. So yeah, that will hold all your dice. And I will recommend these. They're really hard wearing. I've still got one that is still going strong, my first, and I've given these as gifts, even to non-gamers, because they can use them for your paintbrushes or makeup or anything like that. So yeah, and the thing is, if you come to as I keep saying, if you come to a British role-playing convention, every role player, or almost every role player, will have one of these. So what else do I have in this box? So I'm going to the next level. Got this. And unwrapping it, you will see. I'll just keep going. More bubble wrap. Yeah. Dice tray. Just clicks together. So just cold fingers. And this hasn't been clicked together before. So, and it just sits like that on the table as your dice tray. It folds down to just that. So yeah, there are a couple of things from all rolled up, which you can find these for the role-playing game of your choice, although there are generic ones, but there are more ones for different role-playing games, from Numenera to this role-playing game, which is Out of the Ashes. Now, I've already done an unboxing of Out of the Ashes, the quick start. So what else I do have in here is Out of the Ashes core book. So, Out of the Ashes, Adventures in a Broken World. The war has been won. The nameless emperor defeated, his legions scattered or destroyed, but the cost was almost the ruin of the world. Play survivors seeking to protect and rebuild in this self-contained pen and paper fantasy role-playing game by the author of the acclaimed Liminal. Now, Liminal is the role-playing game of urban and rural fantasy set in the modern day. I thoroughly recommend it. It's a really nice setting and system. Very simple, easy to play and run. So, looking forward to seeing what the author would do with Out of the Ashes. So, your characters are capable and heroic, but the dangers out there are great. The land is corrupt and tainted. Monsters roam and seek prey. The surviving ministers of the nameless empire gather their forces once more. Yet hope still remains. Can you keep your community safe, help it grow, and rebuild civilization? So let's crack the plastic and find out what we have in here. So, nice sturdy little book. And we've got the same logo on there as we have in the corner of them all rolled up. And then it's contents page. And we have a map of the world where this has taken place. And then introduction, basic introduction to the game. And about this game, it's talking about heroes and communities. It's a human world. There is magic, dangerous landscapes, magics, and monsters, and different cultures. So really getting everything, sort of like introducing the world, setting you up. The other thing about, you see, look at the cover, I think it's impressive, a world that has rural, almost lost, it's already suffered, and a sense of, not necessarily ethereal, but a sense of the unknown out there. It's not it's not definite. There's a sense of sort of like the lost to it. So we've got different cultures here, like Ekel, the hunters, and Kethebans, the fallen, the mountains of clans, and so on. But then we have a list of inspiration. So Broken Sword, Paul Anderson, The Postman, David Brin, the Draenei series, Jerusalem Man series, essentially by David Gemmell, Earthsea Stories, and so on, and more. Essentially, a nice little list. It's really capturing the flavour that this is a post-apocalyptic fantasy setting. So, also film and television, history and mythology, and other RPGs. So it's quite comprehensive in terms of what it is drawing from in terms of its inspiration. So instead of focusing instead of characters first, it's communities. It's about keeping your community safe, first creating it, defining it, giving it some characteristics and building from there. So we're talking about types of community, its age, and its culture, and then essentially attributes and its army. So defining the community itself as a character, and adding details like the people, geography, where it might be placed, describing various locations where it can be placed, and then looking at potential ties with other communities, risks and hazards that perhaps it's facing or are nearby. So that's dealing with dangerous places, threats, and potential quests, and it gives you a full worked example. Always good to have. I mean, I do like a role-playing game with full worked examples. It's essentially a case of show, not tell. It's already told you, so I'm just going to show you how it works. So yeah, we've got a fully worked example of Dassos, an example of a community, and the concept of that is it's a Vespan outpost in the Caledor Forest. Basically based on a series of fortifications and outposts destroyed in the final war. And then character creation. So it's here we get to sort of like you become a member of that community. You took in elements of culture, a character, its culture and name, giving more specific details about them, a sense of dress and what they look like. And then concept for the character. Like Berserker, Champion, Delver, Earth Speaker, Knight of Vesper, Liberator, Lightbringer, Lawmaster, Messenger, and so on. Lots of options, excuse me, for the player to create a character from. So numerous options there. Skills and then talents, and basically to assign as part of the process. Talk about magical styles and talents as well if you are a spellcaster of some kind. And then keys, which are essentially the world was built from song, and all characters can practice limited magic even without magical talents on the magic focus. This manifests in the form of keys or interacts with the music of creation, and essentially these give the character minor magical abilities and bonuses linked to the concepts of the words embodied. So storm, calm, light, darkness, life, death, change, stability, community, wilderness. So you've got, I mean, you know, everybody has magic, but it can be small or big depending upon who they are, and what essentially what role they have in the community, dealing with drives and then characteristics, and really even before before we get to possessions, and just filling out the final details of the character. And then we've got example characters. So no example sort of like process of creating one, but examples of the finished product or the finished process. Sadly not illustrated. That would have been nice, but I mean obviously the players can grab one of those and start playing with it. And then we've got an extensive list of skills and talents. Got more of the artwork. And then we get on to how to play the game, starting with the cycle of play, how the structure of the game, quests and scenes, game sessions, downtime and handling those, and then talk about generating and creating threats and quests. And then essentially that can then sort of like extending out of that, experience and character improvement, experience points and character improvement, and then advancement and community development. So the actions of the player characters are likely to have an influence on how the community grows and changes. And this was all of that, and then we get on to the general rules itself. Essentially, and that's the basic test is roll two 10-sided dice at the skill level to get more than the target. Starting target is typically 15. And then if the essentially criticals happen when you roll doubles or exceed the target by 10, and conversely the other way, I'm presuming. And you know, you can spend points to bring resources into it and gain a bike, dice, extra dice, resource dice. And then we've got discover particular mechanisms, so looking at socialising, to economics, so you know that's buying and selling, treasure and rewards, skirmishes, so going up from sort of like from a simple battle between some couple of opponents or a band to actually a proper skirmish, mini battle, and then proper expeditions. You know, basically that's sort of like a trading one, or going to a particular location to explore it, and then you keep looking at your keys and the looks and begin to expand upon magic in the setting. So styles of magic: earth speech, light bringing, rune wizardry, and so on. Covering those in some detail, and then. So we've got downtime in communities, what you can be doing, essentially what can be going on in the community, you know, when the player characters aren't there, and then when they are during the downtime period. I've got rules for mass combat in here as well, before we really get into looking at the bigger picture, the history of the setting, because obviously when you start play that doesn't quite matter because you're focused on the community and its survival, but as you play outwards, you begin to learn more of the setting and what happened. So yeah, we have discussion on sort of like places of the first age and the second age. It's going through the different historical periods for the Out of the Ashes setting. So we get to up to the third age before we look at more detail at the cultures already presented in terms of player characters being members of them. But here is this information for the MPs, for the game master. So, for example, we have famous works of Alari's scholarship and poetry. And then, so then we've got forces of the nameless emperors, from including slaves, tainters, desecrators, the undead, the ministers, and other monsters. And we have a geography of the setting, which will accompany the map at the back, which appeared at the front of the book. So that's quite detailed, quite extensive in comparison to sort of the rest of the book, because obviously it's where you're going to be role playing. Okay, then the game master has his own section, the game moderator I should say. So safety tools are covered here. and then we're on to building your community and the campaign around it. Building quests, so advice for the game moderator. Managing downtime, just general sort of rules advice, so whether that's using the rules and setting test difficulties, or handling narration and tests. And then people and monsters. So you can actually design the monsters. They're not just a case of it's a case of just here's a whole load of them. There's a bit more. So we do have given monsters, so animals, mastodons and bulls and lions and things, and then typical people. Including the tainted and the undead, desecrators. Let's see if I've got a picture of those. Monsters. And then quests. So several of those monsters listed for those as well. We've got new bosses and other quests. I've got at least 2 in here. The appendix covers all the rules that you're going to need to know and play. So just sort of the general things that you can refer to for the Game Master's benefit. And of course you've got the list of Kickstarter backers and an index. So yeah, that is Out of the Ashes. It is published by, let's have a look, where are we? Should be able to tell you here because it's Handiwork Games. So yeah, that should be available very soon. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed this unboxing of the Nook. If you have, then please do click on the like button down below. And of course, if you've got any constant feedback, I do appreciate you taking the time to post those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to yet more unboxings of the Nook, where you'll see me out here with a box containing a book or game, which I will unbox and chat about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea. Then please do hit that subscribe button down below. In the meantime, thanks again for watching another unboxing of the Nook. I'll be back again soon with another one. Bye for now.